So we'll start today by finding a comfortable seat on the mat. I'm sitting in Sukhasana, but you can choose another seated position if that's better for you. Be sure to pull the flesh away from the sit bones so that you're starting off with your stable foundation. Draw the navel in towards the spine and allow the crown of the head to reach towards the sky, making that spine nice and tall. Bring the shoulder blades together and down your back, and then place the hands on the thighs, palms up. Your chin is parallel to the mat or tilted slightly forward. We want to have a nice lengthening of the neck as well. Close your eyes and just begin to become aware of your breath. And if it's okay for you, allow the breath to flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Start to bring the breath into balance by making that inhale the same length as the exhale. With each inhale, allow that spine to lengthen. And with each exhale, you're going to keep the length in your spine, but just begin to release any tension that you're holding on to. You can relax your jaw, let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Allow the shoulders to just relax away from the ears. So I'll start to read from Yoga Discipline of Freedom. And we're starting with Yoga Sutra 1.1, and then we might skip a little, and then we'll end with 1.14. This is the teaching of yoga. Yoga is the cessation of the turnings of thought. When thought ceases, the spirit stands in its true identity as observer to the world. Otherwise, the observer identifies with the turnings of thought. Yoga is defined as chitta vritti nirodha, cessation of the turnings of thought. In Patanjali's view, thought is fundamental to the spirit's involvement with material nature. The way to extricate one's spirit is by making thought invulnerable to the stimulation by the world of experience. The turnings of thought, or the inability to keep the mind calm, whether corrupted or immune to the forces of corruption, are of 5 kinds, just like we said yesterday. They are valid judgment, error, conceptualization, sleep, and memory. So, worded a little bit differently than yesterday, but the same things can disrupt our calm mind. Cessation of the turnings of thought comes through practice and dispassion. Practice is the effort to maintain the cessation of thought. This practice is firmly grounded when it is performed for a long time without interruption and with zeal. So Patanjali is telling us that for our yoga practice for us to enjoy the benefits of our yoga practice, the calming of the mind, we must practice regularly for a long period of time and do it with zeal. So we want to put a lot into it. We don't want to do it willy-nilly, like I'm just showing up. We want to be there, be mindful about it. So that brings us to our practice. So today's practice is focusing again on staying the course. We keep coming to practice. We keep working on these things to calm our mind and to allow us to enjoy life more. And we're going to pay special attention today to developing poise and focus to help us stay on course. So let's bring those hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. We'll breathe together 3 times, and on the 3rd exhale, we'll share the sound of Om. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. And for the 3rd time together, inhale. Om. Bow your head. Place the hands on the thighs. Softly open your eyes, looking forward. So we're going to stay seated to start today. So you can sit in Sukhasana, or you could still be in a different seated position. The spine is tall, the breath is balanced. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, turn that head to look towards the right. On the inhale, come back to center. And as you exhale, turn that head to look to the left. Inhale, back to center. So you'll continue moving with your breath here. So you may be going at a bit of a different pace than I am, and that's perfectly fine. Remember that this is your practice. I'm here to guide you, to keep you safe. The next time the head comes back to center, pause there. Lower that right ear towards your right shoulder. Feel the nice stretch in that left side of the neck. On the inhale, bring the head back up. As you exhale, tip that left ear towards the left shoulder. Inhale, back up. Continue moving at your own pace. So, some students don't like all of the warm-up, but we do have to stay the course and warm up our body, even though some of these things are repetitive. If we don't want to get injuries, we really do need to warm up the body. The next time the head comes up, pause there. Bring your arms by your sides. We're going to sweep the arms up, overhead. Palms come together to touch, and then on the exhale, bring the hands together at the heart. So inhale, arms sweep up, palms touch. Exhale, hands come to the heart. One more time. The next time the hands come together and rest at the heart, pause there. Close your eyes. Come back to that balanced breath if it's gotten away from you. So I really want you to use your awareness of the balanced breath as something to focus on today. Open your eyes, place the hands on the knees, and then bring the right hand on the mat next to your right thigh. The left arm reaches towards the sky. So we're going to root down through the sit bones, lengthen through the crown of the head and the fingertips, and as you exhale, begin to tip to the right. Make sure both sit bones stay rooted to the earth here. You can bow out the left ribs. Slowly bring yourself back up. Place the left hand by your side. Right fingertips reach towards the sky. So before we tip, we'll root down through the sit bones. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, begin to tip to the left, bowing out those right ribs. Slowly bring yourself back up. Place your right hand behind the right hip. Left arm or left hand comes to the top of that right knee. So make sure you're not leaning back here. Nice tall spine. Press down through the sit bones. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, begin to twist to the right. Root down through your sit bones. As you inhale, lengthen. And on the exhale, slowly come back to center. Bring the left hand behind that left hip. Right hand to the top of the left knee. Press down through the sit bones. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, twist to the left. Press down through the sit bones. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, slowly come back to center. We'll come to all fours, hands and knees. So when we're on all fours, knees are just hip width apart. They're slightly behind the hips. Hands are shoulder width apart and they are slightly forward of the shoulders. Remember to spread the fingers nice and wide and press down through the fingers and the perimeter of the palms. Take a breath in. As you exhale, shift your hips to your heels, the chest to the thighs, coming to extended child's pose. So elbows are up off of the mat. On the inhale, bring yourself back up, all fours, hands and knees. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. Continue moving with your breath here. No need to rush. The next time you come up to all fours, pause there. On the inhale, sweep the left arm towards the sky. I can't really lift my left arm very high today, so I'm going to leave it on my hip. And you're twisting to the left. Press down through the right fingertips, perimeter of that right palm. As you exhale, come back to center, lowering that left hand. On the next inhale, the right arm sweeps up as you twist open. And then as you exhale, lower. Shift back to child's pose. And then as you inhale, come up, all fours. Inhale, left arm sweeps up, or you can place the hand on the hip as you twist open. Exhale, lower the left arm, coming back to neutral. Right arm sweeps up towards the sky. Exhale, lower. Shift back to child's pose. Bring yourself back up, all fours. We'll do that one more time. Sweep the left arm up towards the sky as you twist to the left. Slowly lower the left hand, coming back to center. Sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, lower. Shift back to child's pose and rest here. So when we rest, we can lower those elbows or cross the forearms in front to use the arms as a pillow, whatever feels restful. Take this time to come back to the breath. And then we'll bring ourselves back up to all fours, hands and knees. From here, we're going to move into downward facing dog. So from all fours, you'll curl those toes under. Start to shift the hips towards the heels. Your knees lift as you press back through the heels, coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So in down dog, bend both knees. Keep them bent. Shift your hips to the back of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Then relax the feet towards the mat. Start to bend the knees. Go back down into child's pose. On the inhale, bring yourself up, all fours, hands and knees. Curl the toes under. Start to shift the hips towards the heels. Knees lift as you press back, downward facing dog. Once again, start to bend those knees. Go back down into child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. We'll do that one more time. Curl your toes under. Start to shift the hips towards the heels. Knees lift as you press back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to float forward to plank. Make sure the hips don't sag, and then we'll press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, shift back, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. So we'll rest in down dog. Next, we're going to shift forward to plank. And I'm going to lower my knees, and you can do that as well. If you'd like to keep the knees up, you can. So with the knees down, you're going to turn those inner elbows to look to the space in front of you, and then bend those elbows towards the space behind you as you lower your chest and your chin. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising to Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. You could also have bent elbows for baby cobra. Draw the navel in towards your spine. Curl your toes under. Shift back, downward facing dog. So we're going to do that 2 more times. From down dog, float forward to plank. Knees can be up or down. Hug the elbows in. Lower the chest and the chin towards the mat. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising to cobra pose. Curl the toes under. Shift back, downward facing dog. One more time. Shift forward to plank. Lower those knees. Hug the elbows in as you lower the chin and the chest. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising to cobra. We'll hold cobra pose here. Relax the shoulders away from your ears. And now shift back to downward facing dog. Start to walk the feet forward towards your hands, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax the head and neck here. Place the hands on the hips. Press down through the feet and bring yourself up to Tadasana, mountain pose. From here, we're going to take a step back with the left foot. Not a huge step. And all toes will point straight ahead. On the inhale, arms sweep up. And as you exhale, hinge forward, folding over the right leg. Relax the head and neck. Take your hands about one hand length forward. You're going to shift the weight to the hands and the right foot as you sweep the left leg up towards the sky. This is called standing splits. So next, we're going to move into downward facing dog from standing splits. So begin to bend that right knee, and you're going to plant the left foot on the mat with those left toes pointing out slightly. As you inhale, both arms, sweep up. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Focus here, rooting down through the outer edge of the back foot, making sure the right knee tracks more towards your pinky toe. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower the hands, one on either side of that right foot, and then step back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come back to the balanced breath if it's gotten away from you. Inhale and exhale are equal. So you can tell just how disturbed our minds get, and by disturbed I mean just we go off course, we lose our focus, because not everybody is able to keep their awareness at the breath for the entire yoga practice. But with practice, we can maintain awareness for a little longer each time. Step the feet forward, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax the head and neck here. Place the hands on the hips, press down through the feet, bring yourself up. This time, we'll take a step back with the right foot. All toes point straight ahead. On the inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge forward as you fold over that left leg. Relax the head and neck here. This is pyramid pose. So take those hands forward about one hand length. You'll press down through the fingertips and that left foot as you sweep the right leg up towards the sky. So now we're going to move into downward facing dog. So you're going to begin to bend that left knee. And then, we're moving into Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. You're going to bend that left knee and then plant that right foot on the mat. Right toes point out slightly. As you inhale, arms sweep up. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Breathe here. As you inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, lower the arms, and we're going to step the right foot forward to meet the left. Stand in Tadasana, and we're going to move into tree pose. So before we move into the pose, there's something called your drishti, and that's your gazing point. So we're going to use that in tree pose, and that's something for you to focus on so that all of the other stimulation is sort of in your peripheral vision. We're trying to tune that out so that we can focus on our point, and you can pick whichever point you want to look at for your drishti. Bring the hands together at the heart. Keep your knees nice and soft. Begin to shift the weight to the right foot. Really let the weight sink into the foot. The left foot becomes light. You can press that against the ankle, the calf, or the upper inner thigh. Just skip the knee. So you're pushing the foot into the leg into the foot. Find your drishti, your gazing point, something not moving. Just allow your gaze to become soft. If you feel stable, arms reach up, tree branches grow. Remember to breathe. Bring the hands together up overhead. Allow the palms to come together at the heart. Lower that left foot. You can shake the legs out. And then we'll come back to Tadasana with the hands at the heart. This time, we'll shift the weight to that left foot. The right foot becomes light. You can press the foot against the ankle, the calf, or the upper inner thigh. Just skip that knee. Press the foot into the leg. Press the leg into the foot. Find your drishti, soften your gaze. Watch your breath, and if you feel stable, arms reach up. Tree branches grow. Bring the hands back together. Down in front of your heart. Lower the right foot. Shake it out. Come to stand at the top of the mat. On the inhale, arms sweep up. As you exhale, fold forward, hinging from those hips. Fingertips come down to the ground. From here, we're going to step back to downward facing dog. We're going to move down to our bellies. If you'd like, you can come through plank. and slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Cross the forearms in front of you, rest the forehead. Come back to your balanced breath. We're going to practice Sphinx pose. For this pose, I don't want you to worry about the upper body yet. Just a little disclaimer, sometimes people will have foot cramps in this pose. So if that happens, just relax your legs and come out of it. But before we start, to try to stave off foot cramps, bend your knees and just start to rotate your ankles. And then reverse the direction of that ankle rotation. Let the ankles become still, and we're going to point the feet and flex the feet. Point, flex. One more time. Point and flex. So lower the feet to the mat. For Sphinx pose, we're going to point the toes, and we're actively pointing them, which means you're reaching the toes to the space behind you. Then we'll create an inner rotation of the thighs. So you're turning your thighs in towards each other and then drawing the tailbone towards the heels. So we are pointing the toes, inner rotation of the thighs, tailbone towards the heels. So keep all of that going and then come up onto the forearms. Your elbows are right under the shoulders, wrists coming right out from those elbows. Pressing down through the fingers, the perimeter of the palms and those forearms. The gaze is forward. Find your drishti. Sphinx pose. Begin to relax your feet. Slowly lower down, crossing the forearms in front of you, resting your forehead. Bend your knees, and we're going to rotate the ankles again. And then reverse the direction of that ankle rotation. Let those ankles become still. Lower the legs down to your mat. Bring your hands right next to your chest. Forehead to the mat. You're going to isometrically drag your hands back, which means you're making the muscle action, but you're not actually moving the hands. So we're pressing the hands into the mat, pressing the hands towards the feet, which causes the body to shift forward, and then we rise to cobra. As you exhale, lower. Isometrically drag those hands back. The chest sweeps through the arms as you rise. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, and on the exhale, lower. 3 more on your own. Remember, you can keep bent elbows for a baby cobra if that's better for your back. When you finish, and please take your time, you're just going to roll over onto the back and hug the knees into the chest. So once you come onto your back, you can hug the knees in and just rock side to side, giving yourself a little back massage. And then lower the soles of the feet to the mat. And bring your arms by your sides, the palms face the floor. We're going to move into dynamic bridge pose. And before we do, again, this is something that I say a lot, so it can become repetitive, but it's really important to prevent injury and to be able to continue your practice. So before we lift, you're going to draw your pelvic floor up, the navel in, and that will bring that pelvis into neutral. It will also engage the core. Engage both glutes and then press down through the feet. Lift the hips. As you exhale, lower. So before you lift, each time you want to make sure pelvic floor draws up, navel in, glutes engaged, lift, exhale, lower. Continue lifting and lowering on your own here. Dynamic Setu Bandha, dynamic bridge pose. Inhale and exhale are equal. The next time you lower the hips, pause there. Draw the knees into the chest, and then bring the arms out like a T, the palms face the sky. Take a breath in. As you exhale, begin to tip the legs over to the left. So you're twisting to the left. That left leg comes down to the ground, right leg can just rest on top of it. So a lot of times in twists, I'll see students holding their feet up in the air. You can relax the feet and just relax here as you watch the breath. Begin to bring the knees back up towards the chest, and as you exhale, you can tip the legs over to the right. So you're twisting to the right. I'm going to bend my left elbow because this shoulder is just giving me trouble today. And then you'll bring those knees back up to the chest. Place your right hand on the right knee and your left hand on your left knee. As you inhale, the knees are going to pull away from the chest as your arms straighten. As you exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale, knees pull away from the chest. Exhale, knees pull in. You can continue on your own here, moving with your breath. The next time you hug the knees in, pause there. And then lower the soles of the feet to the mat. Rest your hands on your belly And just let the knees sway from side to side. The next time the soles of the feet are back on the mat, pause there. Allow the soles of the feet to come together as those knees open up out to the sides. Your hands and arms can rest wherever they're comfortable. Take a moment. Watch the breath. When thoughts run through the head, just let them go. Try not to attach to them and create the story. We're going to begin to transition into Shavasana, our last pose. If there's something that you need to be comfortable for the next 5 minutes, please feel free to grab it. And then once you have what you need, you can lay on your back, legs extended out nice and long. Arms are by your sides, palms face the sky. Allow the feet to just flop open. Let the eyes rest in their sockets. Relax your jaw by creating a space between the top and bottom rows of teeth. And let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Resist the urge to make subtle movements. Allow your natural breath to take over. Rest in Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen the breath, becoming aware of the space around you and becoming aware of your body. Start to make subtle movements that feel good, like wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes. You can rotate through the wrists and the ankles. Turn your head gently from side to side. And stretch through the arms and the legs like you're just waking up. Nice full body stretch. And then roll to the right side in the fetal position. And we'll stay there for a few breaths. Keeping the eyes closed if you'd like. Use those arms to bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. Once you get there, you can bring the hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Thank you for your consistency in your practice and your dedication. Yoga does give us many benefits, and sometimes the benefits that we see are subtle and sometimes they take a long time, but with consistent practice it will happen, and you'll start to be able to find freedom in being unattached from your thoughts. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be free from suffering. May you have ease and well-being. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me today.